Slunchy, I do, buckaroos, and how the heck are you? Here's what I picked up from a Boulevard mix pack. There was 2 of each of these. The first one I had was their barrel-aged Baltic Porter. The second one, it was this one, their Chai Imperial Stout, barrel-aged, ale with natural flavors, and it clocks in at 12%. The truth is, I only bought the pack because of the Baltic. The other one's like a carrot cake, something or other. I didn't really give a rat's ass, to be honest with you. But I really wanted to try that Baltic Porter, which is why I bought the 6-pack. Chai Imperial Stout. Sometimes I think these breweries are trying just a little too hard, right? A carrot cake, something, a chai, but I bought it for the barrel-aged Baltic Porter. I mean, I bought it for the simplest creation, right? They need to go to all that work for me, but I bought it just because it had that other one that I had to have. But I guess there are people that like this kind of nonsense. That classic overreaching, I guess there are those people out there. A Chai Imperial Stout, I thought nobody'd ever make one. All I wanted you to do was barrel age the Baltic Porter. That's all I needed. I didn't need a carrot cake something. I didn't need a chai anything. But nevertheless, I had to have it because I wanted that Baltic Porter. Now, had I had less scruples, I would have gone through the other 6-packs and made sure I got 6 Baltic Porters and put the others back, and nobody would have known the difference. But my conscience wouldn't let me do that. But there are some times I do wish I had less scruples, because it seems like most people don't have any. Anyways, I digress. Oh, I'd have felt guilty about that for the rest of my life had I changed. What if somebody's going to buy that? I could do. There are those in the world with no conscience whatsoever. There are those with that uber conscience that worries about every small infraction they may have or may have not have done. Anything they possibly thought about. But I wish I would have had that ability. I'd have had 6 Baltic Porters and no chai and no carrot cake, and I'd have been very happy with that. Well, now they go to that 3-minute tirade. Let's just talk about this one, shall we? Chai Imperial Stout. I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure. I didn't look up on their website. Quite frankly, I don't care about what flavors I'm supposed to pick up from this Chai Imperial Stout. I'm not a big chai guy, so I couldn't tell you what would be the norm, right? I'm clearly not the target market for a Chai Imperial Stout, but nevertheless, here we are. Huh. Yeah, that's all I got so far. Yeah, so the Imperial Stout notes, yeah, I get these big, deep, Yeah, that's all I got. I can't tell if I like it or hate it at this particular moment in time. That was very interesting. I feel roasted barley notes. Definitely feel Imperial Stout. There's some other things going on. I'm picking up some spice notes. Some cinnamon, I'm guessing. Cardamom. Might be some cardamom, some clove in there, maybe even some ginger. But I'm getting this little bitterness on the back end that I haven't quite deciphered, and I'm not sure if that's the roasted barley or if that's some of the spice notes. And I haven't figured out if I like it or not. I'm not really sure at the moment. Yeah, that's kind of odd. There is something. Yeah, there's a lingering bitterness on the back end that I can't quite figure out. To be honest with you, I mean, I'd almost think it would be if there was chocolate here. I think maybe there was a dark chocolate note, but that's not it. But I feel like there's a lot of competing flavors and aromas that may not be agreeing with each other. Or maybe it's just not warm enough. They don't have this quite warm enough to get where it needs to be. I'm not really sure. I'll be honest with you, I don't hate it, but I can't quite figure it out yet. Because again, it just feels like there's a lot of competing flavors that I'm not sure belong together. Or maybe balance is the better word. Maybe they're not quite balanced. Although I did not have this beer in the fridge, I had it out in the garage, so it still may be a little colder than it needs to be. Although I did have it warming up for a few minutes before I started the video. It's interesting. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But I'm more perplexed by it than anything, if you want to know the truth. And that's something very few beer guys would ever admit to. Hell, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I will say it's interesting. It really is. I'm to be honest with you, I'm just more perplexed than anything. There's just a lot going on here that I can't quite put my finger on. But mostly I keep going back to why do we need a beer like this, right? Why couldn't I just have a 6-pack with barrel-aged Baltic porters? Why do I need a chai something and a carrot cake something? Why can't I just have beer that tastes like beer? That doesn't exist anymore, Tom. You were lucky we just had that barrel-aged Baltic Porter in there. We ran out of ideas for crazy, nonsensical beer. So we threw that one in there. We ran out of ideas for crazy, nonsensical beer. I don't know, man. There are folks that like this kind of stuff, which is obviously why it's here. But clearly I'm not the target market. I'm not the demographic, as they say. Clearly not. No, but you bought it, didn't you, Tom? Yeah, I did. Mostly because these packs always intrigue me. Every time Boulevard puts one of these out, I try to pick them up because there's always at least one great beer in there, one great beer style. For me, obviously, this time it's going to be that Baltic Porter that I've already had one of because that beer was insanely delicious. And if I was somebody that drank Thai, I might appreciate, or drank chai, this might be a beer I would appreciate more. Or at least maybe understand a little. Because quite frankly, it makes absolutely no sense to me. I'm not sure why anybody would intentionally want these flavors and aromas in a beer. Then again, I'm not a chai drinker, so maybe that's why. It makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. It will to some. I get it. Some people are going to really love it. And to be honest with you, I don't hate it. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why people would want this flavor combination. I don't know. Why would you do that intentionally? Tom, some people like that kind of thing. Okay, I guess I get it. But damn, I really would have loved just a 6-pack of the barrel-aged Baltic Porter. That would have been awesome, man. I would have really loved that. If you just could have made me a 6-pack of just that Baltic Porter so I didn't have to weed through all this nonsense, that would have been great. Anyway, I digress. It is starting to balance more. I'm trying to be serious for a second because I only have a little bit of serious in me. I've only got a limited time of serious. Trying to be serious for about a half a second here. Yeah, as it warms, it is starting to make a little more sense. Those flavors and aromas are starting to balance out a little bit. It's just what, the thing is, those flavors and aromas just don't make a lot of sense to me personally. But I'm trying to kind of get it. But yeah, I was getting a lot of very sharp spice notes, and they didn't seem to balance out or make sense together. Now I'm starting to feel it a little bit better, but... And like I said, if I was somebody that drank chai, it would probably make more sense to me. But I'm that old school guy that drinks dark roast black coffee, unsweetened tea. I like my Irish breakfast tea if I'm having hot tea. I mean, I'm a purist. I'm a purist, baby. So yeah, I mean, when I bought this mix pack, I knew this particular flavor probably wasn't going to be for me, but I was curious. Like I said, but if they had a 6-pack of just that Baltic Porter, you betcha. You betcha, baby. I'd have been all in. So anyways, let me wrap this up. Would I buy this again? The short answer is no. There's nothing in this beer that leaves me wanting for more. However, the however is that I do believe it's done well. The flavors, the aromas, if this is what you're looking for, if you like these particular flavors and aromas, I think they've done a good job with this. I'm just not the guy that they're selling it to. So anyways, I digress. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all around good guy, Sláinte. Okay, well, Sláinte, and how do you do, buckaroos? So I did a video for this particular beer. The Chai Imperial Stout from Boulevard Brewing. It's barrel aged ale with natural flavors at 12%. So I'm going to pour what I have left in the bottle there and show it to you. I drank most of it for the video, but I've got just a little bit left. And I wanted to pair it with the whiskey, but that's difficult because this beer has great big bold flavors. So I needed a big whiskey, something that would stand up to that. And I decided to go with the Iechyd. I was trying to stay in Missouri, you see. I didn't have. Anyway, so I've got the double barrel rye finished in stout barrels, which is kind of why I went with that, because I've got these big notes from this whiskey at 92 proof. So I just poured an ounce. I didn't want a lot. Just a little bit to pair with what I have left, which is probably, about 4 ounces maybe. Maybe a little bit less. So it's an interesting beer, and it has gotten more approachable for me as I've let it warm. I'm not a chai guy, so why would I buy this, you might ask? Well, I didn't buy this per se. I bought the 6-pack that this came in. It was a mixed pack that had 3 different, but I honestly bought the 6-pack because it had a barrel-aged Baltic Porter, and I felt like I had to have that barrel-aged Baltic Porter, and everything else was just going to be collateral damage, right? I didn't necessarily want them, but there they were. But this is interesting. I don't drink chai. That's not really in my wheelhouse. I'm kind of a purist no matter what I drink. If I'm drinking tea of any kind, I want an Irish breakfast. If I'm drinking coffee of any kind, I want it jet black. So, yeah. So for me, a beer like this is a whole lot of overkill. But having said that, what I will say is I feel like what they've put together makes sense for what they're trying to do. I think if you're looking for a barrel-aged chai Imperial Stout, I think this one's probably going to be in your wheelhouse. I don't know what kind of market there is for chai drinking, Imperial Stout drinking folks out there, but nevertheless, here you go. But again, because this rye was finished in stout barrels, I thought this might be one that could have possibly hold up to it. It has a very interesting nose, almost chocolatey on the nose, which I'm guessing comes from those stout barrels. But yeah, it almost has that malted chocolate nose, right? Oh, mercy. Yeah, that is nice. That whiskey is great. And it does pair decently with it. I don't know that there is a perfect pairing for a beer like this, to be honest with you. But I thought, maybe this and this. Because of that rye, it's a nice, spicy, chewy rye. Gosh, that's just a good beer. I don't care who you are. Yeah, I'm warming up to it. I wasn't sure. It's taking me a little bit, but I gotta admit, I'm kind of warming up to it. I'm liking what they're doing here, even though it's not really for me. It's not something that I would really invest in, if you want to know the truth, and I wouldn't necessarily seek it out. But and it's taken me till I've got about 3 ounces left to get to understand it. But yeah, it is good. It is done well. That's kind of what Boulevard does. Not everything is a home run, but they are known for taking some risks, and that's commendable, especially when you have many pseudo craft breweries out there that have gotten by on just being safe for a whole lot of years, or just meeting that status quo. Yeah, I think I just need to get it to a particular temperature, I guess, because it's really feeling like it belongs. I wasn't really getting it early on, and I'll be honest about that. The flavors and aromas just, there's not something that I would seek out. And I think part of it, maybe just, I like the way it works with the whiskey. Maybe the whiskey makes it work for me. It's the whiskey, Tom. It's all about the whiskey. Anyways. I digress. But I digress, man. It is that time of year where we should just be happy about everything. Love everybody. Well, don't love everybody. You could get thrown in jail for that. Be careful who you love. Unless they want you to love them. Anyways, I digress. I am Tom, the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and let me show you this bottle one more time. Double barrel rye, whiskey finished in stout barrels, produced and bottled by Iechyd Distillery, Springfield, Missouri. Let me show you that bottle at 92 proof. Doing some good stuff out there, man, and I'm all about buying small. Support the little guys. Forget about those names, They're all overhyped and overpriced. I'm Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, prayer everyone's man. All right, good guys, launch you.